Hey everybody, it's Aaron again. Welcome back to Lowe's Comics and Collectibles. And this time we have the Series 99 Basic Becky Lynch. In her, sorry for the glare guys, in her, I guess this would be more pre-man Becky than current because of the color, obviously the colors, and I think her gear's a little bit different now, but I like the colors on it, and I seem to think I've seen her wrestling this before she had to run as the main, because this is an older Basic. There's the back. The rest of this set was, I believe that Shinsuke I've got up on the shelf, a Arya Daivari, Drew McIntyre, I almost said Gulak, Drew McIntyre, and a Rey Mysterio. Man, it's a good looking figure. So I like the color. So let's get in here. Okay. Get old Becky out here. I've discovered the thing is if you can get the head out, the rest comes. Okay guys, we got her out of the package. Let's take a look at the Becky Lynch Basic 99. So we always start with the face, and it's a pretty good face for Becky. It looks like Becky. I like the hair sculpt a little bit going over the shoulder, and then it tucked behind the ear and goes down her back. It's pretty cool. He's got brown eyes with the eye makeup, whatever that's called. I keep getting makeup names confused. So makeup around the eyes and the brown eyelashes with a little bit of paint to make the lips pop. And she's got that big old Becky Lynch smile. I think you could nitpick, and it's really nitpicking the card art. She has like a braid in the side of her hair, but I feel like that's nitpicking. That could have just been how she's wearing her hair that day. So I'm not taking that as like a negative against the figure by any means. But yeah, good face. The overall sculpt, I think it fits Becky. Becky was not a super svelte, swole lady, but I mean she's in decent shape, so I think that's a good choice. Let's get to the gear. So she's got this purplish red, reddish purple, blue and gold. I guess this is still a singlet. It's cut different than a ladies singlet. I guess it's a wrestling singlet, basically. It's like a one-piece bathing suit. I think most guys' singlets like to come down and have like, short shorts, but it's all one piece. This is why I got this figure, because I like the outfit. But you got the purplish red. If you know the word for it, throw it in the comments. I thought violet, but violet wasn't quite the right color. Maybe it's burgundy. With these blue stripes off to the sides, like on the hip. Well, not really the hips, but off to the side of the abs. And it's on the back too. And then you got this gold trim or gold symbol that starts at the shoulders, goes around each side of the chest, kind of makes an H, but since I'm doing a video you guys can see it's really cool looking. It was really hard writing the review for this, and like, how do you describe this? She's got the wrist guards that are the same color, red color as the singlet, and she's got on the long or fully encompassing knee pads that are two-tone, well, three-tone technically, but the same red and blue with a gold line down the middle there, and it's not exactly half and half, but I still think that's an accurate way to describe it. And she's wearing black boots with kick pads molded. I don't know if Becky actually wears kick pads. I couldn't find any pictures of her that were far enough down to tell. Like, most of them would cut off like right here at the like bottom of the knee, and I'm like, dang it, and the reason why I was looking is because I know they recycle parts. So, she may not have kick pads in real life, but they just had these laying around like that'll do for a basic figure, which it will. So that's the gear. I don't know, and if you guys know, some of you guys that are into wrestling figures are really big into the the accuracy of the gear. Was there being no gold on the back cost cut, or was that how this gear was? Because you see it comes up and then it stops right at the half point of the, maybe you can't, the half point of the, like, the front of the body. So I don't know if, I mean, it looks fine, so there may not have been any gold on the back. It's entirely possible. But I've heard on some basics them cost cutting and not being completely accurate with the decal hits. I'd be interested to know. Now the thing that makes female basics different, we'll get into here in points of articulation. Points of articulation, her head is on a ball joint, goes side to side and up and down. Now, granted, because the hair's here, it's kind of limited, but it works. I mean, you could probably force it, but I'm not gonna. Basically, people with long hair that's not tied back, you're gonna have a little bit of limited mobility on the head. The shoulder is a joint that goes all the way around. I guess it's still a ball joint, sort of. Well, probably not, because it does that, and it has that hinge right there. Sorry, you can see it there. Sorry, I know I'm making a little bit of a shadow when I lift up, so the arm goes up. The elbow has it roll around all the way around the elbow and has a hinge to bend up. And the hands on basics are molded closed fist, and they don't have the hinge at the top like the elites, so you can't do this, but you can still. And this is something more that I thought about. It kind of irked me. And I have to look at more of my basics. They should be molded with like a little bit of an open hand, so you could at least hold accessories with a basic. But that's a minor nitpicky thing, because like I said, I kind of feel like the basics line's more like for kids. Like, hey, $10, $12, they've got a decent figure. Now she spins around at the waist like all basics do. Now, what the difference point here is, her hips are a ball joint, so you get a little bit more. Like if you wanted her to do like a karate kick or something. Whereas male basics are basically the groin region is just a hinge, and then they'll go out like the 45 degrees, right? And I don't think they'll go back any. So this is why female wrestling figures are an exception in the Mattel line for me for basics if I like the gear. Because yes, this is not as posable as an elite, but I'm not using a lot of ab crunchy stuff. Because I'm not doing like a fig fed yet. So that, I mean, just that extra posability in the legs to me would make basics, like if guys were that way, would make basics more worth it. Because yeah, this hand thing kind of sucks, which I would just make it a point to mold them all with like the holding hands, so you could still use accessories with your basics. And I have to look, because these are smaller hands because they're female hands. I don't know if just all females have closed fist. I'll have to look. I don't think my Brett does. But there's that. Back to the, as you notice with the elites, there's no, unlike the elites, there's no like swivel at the thigh. There's a hinge at the knee. But because I've worked these a little bit, but this is the downside of those knee pads, is if they're on right, they can really hinder. Yeah, you can see a little bit better in this knee. See how it kind of fights wanting to bend. They're cool looking, but as far as like posing, that's a bit tough. Because I know people that swap out these knee pads. Now, granted, on one that's this ornate, probably not. I mean, you can find one, do the open back thing, and maybe paint it. But on like basic looking knee pads, I've seen people buy replacement ones that have basically this section cut out. They're an actual type of knee pad, and it basically allows that hinge to work a bit better. But if she's just standing like this on a shelf, it's fine. And she rotates at the top of the boots for the ankle rotation. As near as I can tell, basics, it depends if they're wearing tall wrestling boots or not. Because my Matt Riddle that I'm going to review later, he rotates right at his ankle because he doesn't wear any footwear when he wrestles. So that's more or less it on everything for this figure. Like I said, female basics, especially if I like the gear, like there's a I think there's a Sasha Banks basic that has on like Wonder Woman gear. I'd get that because of this, basically. That to me, being able to do this, and she can't really go back because the butt is part of the lower body, and there's no hinge or anything there, so she can't really. As you can see, the leg won't go back because this is all one molded piece. So you do lose a little bit in that respect, but you know, she can, in my mind, do better kicks and stuff. So I sort of break my rule on not collecting basics with these figures. Again, I liked it. They're cheap, and I like the gear because as much as I like Becky as the man, and I'm glad her career kind of got a resurgence, sort of, I guess is the way to put it, or she got more mainstream time with the man. I do kind of miss these more comic booky, elaborate outfits. I just think they're cool. But it doesn't really fit the man persona because you'll notice a lot of her stuff, even if it's something like this singlet, it's usually like black with like a splash of color somewhere, but mostly black. Very Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, it's an old thought process in wrestling that heels originally were not meant to have fans, so they generally didn't dress flashy. That's why, like, you see, like, a lot of the heels had, like, black trunks or black tights. Like, think Stone Cold. His gear was literally 2 black knee pads, black boots, black trunks, was what Stone Cold wrestled in. Even The Rock's wrestling gear, more or less, because he was kind of that anti-hero, middle ground, heel baby face. Most of his gear was black, unless it was, like, his fancy shirts for promos. So it harkens back to that. So when she went the man, which is very similar to like a Stone Cold Steve Austin-y middle ground heel baby face, you know, that changed. So her gear's not as colorful. So I do miss these, but I'm glad her career found, I guess, new life with the man persona, because she is a talented wrestler and deserves it. Anyway, guys, thank you for spending time with me. Follow us on all the socials. Leave a comment either on socials, the YouTube, or the website. I try to respond to all of them. Sometimes YouTube's comments are a bit slow, so I may not see it right when you post. But anytime, if you post and I catch it, I try to respond. We appreciate it. If you like what we do here and like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell. It'll let you know when I post a new video, even though I try to make it always sometime on Friday. And I mean, it would help if you know people that are into action figures, even if it's not necessarily what I'm doing right now. I have plans to collect other things. It's just limited money, and I'm kind of focusing on, I mean, technically, like 3 lines now, because it's like basics and elites of what I like, the retros and Bucky. No, it is 3 or 4, because it's also Star Wars. So share it with them, help this community grow. Just like I said, throw anything down in the comments, ways to make the video better, or your thoughts on these figures. And I'd love to chit chat with you guys, because I love talking shop. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next week. Peace.